Oh, you want to play psycho killer? Can I be the helpless victim?
Cross your eyes and scream, man. Scream for your life.
Welcome, Scream Queens, Kings, and Things. Whether you're screaming at movies or the real life stuff, I'm your host, Jenica Olin. This is my 41st episode. My theme of the month is Authentic August Horrors, with 4 weeks of horror movies based on true crime cases. A man drifts through city streets, striking down strangers in acts of sudden, senseless violence. His calm detachment makes the murders feel disturbingly ordinary, as though cruelty is just part of his daily routine. Through his influence, those closest to him are pulled into a spiral of brutality that feels both intimate and terrifying. If you're new here, I break down movies, analyze them into themes, and connect the true horrors to the ones that are on screen. Spoiler alert, I've made it my job to spoil the shit out of this movie. Today, I'll be covering the 1986 Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, directed by John McNaughton, written by Richard Fire and John McNaughton, starring Michael Rooker, Tracy Arnold, and Tom Towles. The estimated budget was $111,000, pretty small, and the estimated gross was $609,000. Tagline: the shocking true story of Henry Lee Lucas. Some quick trivia about this film: Michael Rooker said he was working as a janitor when he auditioned for the part of Henry, and went to the audition in his janitor uniform. He got the part and continued to wear his uniform throughout the film shoot. He only had one jacket though, and he took it off before he killed anyone, so he wouldn't get blood on it. During the shooting of Becky emerging from the subway, 2 men can be seen standing at the top of the stairs having a heated discussion. These men were not extras. They were simply people who were really having an argument, and when the film crew arrived to shoot, they refused to move, so John McNaughton decided to include them. Although neither John McNaughton nor writer Richard Fire were involved in the making of Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer 2 from 1996, they initially had plans to make their own sequel to Henry, titled Henry, Superstar of Crime. The idea was based on the fame achieved by Henry Lee Lucas after his capture. The sequel would pick up where the first film left off, with Henry arriving alone in a new town and killing numerous people before being arrested and becoming a media celebrity. The idea never developed beyond the treatment stage, however. If you're new to this podcast, you probably don't know my format. If you're a regular here, this month is going to be a little bit different because I am covering a movie that's based on true crime. I am merging my synopsis and my guest segment and my true horrors because it's all kind of tied up in a nice bloody bow for you. So I'm just going to keep it that way.
You telling me you never killed anybody before?
I ain't saying that.
What do you got in mind, Henry?
What do you think? What do you say, Otis? You want to go grab a beer?
All right, now it's time to talk horror, and today my guest is Sarah. She is one of my favorite guests to have. This is her 3rd time on the podcast.
I'm happy to be here.
So we are here today to talk about Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
We sure are.
This is it's an interesting watch.
It's a doozy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very unique.
Yes, it's well made.
Very well made.
And we will get into all the things with Henry. So the character Henry is loosely based upon the real life serial killer, Henry Lee Lucas. The actions of the fictional Henry are inspired not by Lucas's real crimes, but by his fabricated ones. So that is a really important keynote to have here. They don't show any of the actual crimes that he's known to have actually committed.
Okay.
And he lied a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into that. In prison, Lucas confessed to over 600 murders, claiming he committed roughly 1 murder a week from 1975 to 1983. The film begins with a disturbing montage the bodies of women left in fields, creeks, and motel rooms. Their deaths are shown through aftermath rather than action, with the sounds of their murders layered over still images of their corpses. From the first frame, it sets the tone. Violence will be treated with brutal matter-of-factness without stylizing or comfort. And then we meet Henry, our drifter from Chicago. He's eating quietly in a diner before heading out to his beat-up green Chevy Impala. We see that his days are filled with like these small routines, buying cigarettes. He smoked a lot of cigarettes in real life. He was like a couple packs a day smoker type thing. Yeah. Love that smell. Love to kiss that mouth. So he's buying cigarettes, listening to the radio, watching people on the streets.
Cruising around town.
Yeah, he's definitely being a fucking creep. But it's punctuated by a sudden act of murder. And there's no consistent pattern. One day he strangles a woman after gaining her trust. He attacks strangers with almost casual indifference. His killings appear random, which is precisely what makes him so difficult to predict or understand. So my first theme is the banality of evil. And with that, Henry doesn't murder for revenge, money, or passion. He kills because it's part of his routine in this movie. There's a casual attitude, like eating dinner after a murder, watching TV with Ottis. I think it's Ottis.
I think in real life, his name is Ottis, but in the movie, his name is Otis.
Okay, yeah. In real life, it is Ottis because
I
it
think
has
so.
2 T's.
Yeah.
But in the movie, it does have
They just
1
say
T.
Otis.
So his real name was Ottis, but we'll call him Otis for this. And it just highlights how violence becomes ordinary life with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't faze them. It's just like, oh yeah, you know, I got some dinner, I watched some football, murdered this prostitute.
Well,
It's fine.
It really struck me because, you know, the first scene of him is just sitting at that diner
Mm-hmm.
and he talks to the waitress and he's polite.
Yeah.
He's so pleasant. It's like, oh, really nice smile. And like he walks out and gets in his car and you're like, oh, that was a completely normal interaction until it cut. It's just completely unassuming. Like, this was my second time watching it, and I forgot that that was Henry.
Yeah, that's very different than the real life Henry.
I'm sure.
The real life Henry did not have a nice smile. He only had like 2 real teeth. The rest of them were like broken. So not the smile you want to be greeted with.
Mm-hmm. Not making waitresses blush.
No.
Probably making waitresses cry.
Yeah. Making them run for sure. But he wasn't, no. Yeah, that's one thing. They make him way too
He's very
appealing.
polite. He's very, very, like, I have all over my notes just so polite.
Mm-hmm. Because I just, like, in my doing research, which by doing research, I listened to the entire 4 episodes that covered Henry Lee Lucas on last podcast on the left. I'm trying to remember what they said about his actual, like, personality. I don't, like, he wasn't a pleasant guy.
I don't think he'd be described as, like, flowery.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. So that's all fictional.
Banality of evil. The opening credits also really struck me because it's just black background, white lettering, and like between that and the images of the murders, it feels like you're just reading a case file.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like it's just Henry, portrait of a serial killer, and then just the words, like you're reading the front page of a case study and a table of content, and all of the images of the crimes afterwards they just look like crime scene photos.
Yeah, it's not intimate. You don't get any context to who these people were.
Yeah, it's not like hyper stylized or romanticized or anything. It's in like the audio. It's just, but so matter of fact.
It's super eerie. The sounds that you hear, because it does.
Music.
It's a cold open for sure.
Yeah.
A cold open that.
It's an ice cold open.
I was going to say it's like a clammy hand, like that. I'm trying to think of like a gross place that I would like put my hand and then slap someone with it. No.
I can think of 1 or 2.
I can think of a few. I just don't want to say it It's kind of like that. Yeah, it's the very matter of fact. Like, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to comfort you. I'm not going to hold your hand through this. Look at this woman and her corpse. They're very realistic. I don't know I didn't find anything about the practical effects, not that I can remember as I go through my notes, but I don't know if it was people posing. Sometimes they did that. Or if it was dummies, but they look really real.
Yeah, it's also just the stark juxtaposition of here's this friendly, polite guy telling someone that she has a nice smile, and here's the corpse he's responsible for.
Yeah.
It's just do not get comfortable for even a second with these people.
And depending on who you are, there are people who said he was polite and well-mannered. I mean, if you also lived in a chicken coop, then I guess anyone is polite.
Not above having a good day, I guess.
Yeah. And, there's someone for everyone. I think that, if anything, this story proves that there is someone for everyone out there.
Every Becky has a Henry.
Yeah.
And every Henry has a Becky. And an Otis.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
What did you think about the music that they play over the splices of the crime scene photos, the droning vocalizations?
I thought it was just very haunting, and I think it was trying to evoke those feelings
of just chaos and panic.
Yeah.
It kind of, I might be totally off with this, but the droning and the chaotic vocalizations kind of made me think of killers like the Son of Sam, who hear voices and kill to quiet them.
Mm-hmm.
And so having the audio of the crime and that audio made me think is this what he hears all the time? Are these voices he's trying to quiet or something like that? And I, again, could be totally off, but that's just how it felt.
Yeah, I think they could definitely be trying to portray that. I will say that the real Henry Lee Lucas didn't hear voices, but he said whenever he committed murder, it was like a chill down his spine. And more than one serial killer has described that kind of thing, or said there was complete silence after committing the murder. Right? So it's a release of some sort.
Yeah, a compulsion that they follow through on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the aftermath of it is the quiet.
Freaky. I do find it really cool in this movie how most of the crimes that happen in this movie, you don't see any of the lead up. You see him watching people from his car, and it follows that one woman, and you do see a couple, but for the most part, everything is just afterwards. And I feel it's reflective of how he's just not considering anything about it until it's done, and he's all right, well, I guess now I have to deal with this.
Yeah. Oh, he's so opportunistic.
Yeah.
In this whole thing. Very much let's go, let's ride through the streets, let's see what we can find.
I feel a lot of serial killers are portrayed as these plodding, methodical, Hannibal Lecter types who have these perfect murders plotted out, and he's just oh, they're letting me keep this tank to spray for bugs, I'm gonna use it to pick up a victim. Opportunistic.
Yeah. And I mean, he was very simple minded. So didn't have a lot of forethought going on. It was very in the moment. So I think they captured that really well. But that makes it even more terrifying because how you can't anticipate. Oh, another thing about Henry Lee Lucas. So Michael Rooker is the one who plays him. This was his first movie he was ever in.
Crazy acting to start out with.
While Michael Rooker looks kind of backwoodsy, he's not by any means
he's not missing 28 teeth.
Yeah, you wouldn't consider him to be a handsome guy, but compared to Henry Lee Lucas, he's a handsome guy. Henry Lee Lucas, I already talked about the fact that he had no teeth, but he also only had one eye.
Yeah, he's on the lower end of the average number of teeth and eyes. face.
Yeah. He's got it 2 for 1.
Yeah.
That's a fucked up joke. That's his eye. The story behind his eye is that his brother stabbed him in the eye. They never took him to the hospital or anything. It like had to heal on its own because he was severely neglected. And then there was something about like he wasn't in trouble, but the teacher was like yelling at another kid through a ruler, and then the ruler ended up hitting him in his eye. And then eventually they got him a fake eye. Eventually.
They should make a really fucked up movie about it.
They could make one that's way more fucked up than what we watched.
That's so true, though. This is so sanitized compared to what actually happened.
It really is
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
this is a disturbing movie.
Yeah, this is on like the way I heard about this movie was all of the lists that are like horror movies you never want to watch a second time.
I don't need to watch it again. All right, so my next little notes in here as we go through this movie. Henry's unstable existence shifts when he reconnects with Ottis. We're calling him Otis. A fellow ex-convict who lives in a seedy apartment on the city's north side. At the same time, Ottis's young sister, Becky, arrives from Texas to escape an abusive husband. She carries visible bruises, but also a sense of vulnerability, looking for safety where none truly existed. Introduced to Henry, she sees him as quiet, polite, and even protective compared to her brutish brother, who rapes her. At first, Henry and Becky's bond grows in small moments like playing cards, washing dishes, and trading painful stories about childhood. Becky admits her father raped her, while Henry recounts his mother's abuse and prostitution, though the details of his story change like each time he tells it, and she actually calls him out on that.
What do you think the truth is?
It's probably the first story.
That he beat her with a baseball bat?
Oh, no, not that one.
That he shot her? Or that he stabbed her?
Stab. It was a stab. He did stab his mother.
In real life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie, I kind of understood it that shooting her was really what happened because that's when the audio of the crime comes in.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. This is what happens when you watch a movie like this twice. You notice things like this, whether you want to or not.
Well, in real life, he did stab her.
Mm-hmm. Like, I see the purpose of it. Like, it's kind of like in Dark Knight, how the Joker changes the story of how he gets his scars because it just makes it creepier to not know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also kind of like this guy's a compulsive liar who has admitted to tons of crimes he didn't commit, and like, does he even remember the truth? Yeah,
does he even know the truth? He lies so much. I saw it as them emphasizing the fact that we can't trust his version of a story.
Right.
And it was just like kind of like little breadcrumbs that he's lying. Mm-hmm. And this whole, like, every murder that we see is, as far as we know, made up. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like he said he did these things, but there's no proof that he did. And there's a lot of proof that he lied. So trauma bonding, this little triad of sorts,
just gravitated towards each other.
Yeah. This is the worst group of people you ever want to cross.
Nightmare blunt rotation.
When it comes to Becky, Becky was around 11 when she became Henry's child bride, basically. And so she was never married before. That wasn't a thing.
Right.
She
they
also
age her up for the movie.
Yes, they age her up. She also wasn't Otis's sister. She was his niece. She lived with Lucas and Toole for a while. She has a very sad story. She is thought to have significant cognitive deficit. And
yeah, it's so tragic. Unfortunately, like, people that kind of are made for each other, where it's like, you know, they all have these like horrific backgrounds, and there's different ways that those backgrounds can manifest in the person you become in the future. And all these people just had horrific shit happen to them.
Yeah.
And
no, I feel really bad for Becky because she was a child.
Right.
I feel that, like, we can have sympathy for Henry because of all the abuse he endured and everything he went through. He still made choices.
Right.
He was still, like, the system was rigged against him, but what he turned into was a fucking garbage monster of a person.
There are plenty of other people who have had as bad things or worse happen to them who don't become serial killers.
Yes. I mean, kind of hard to compare.
Yeah, this one is pretty bad.
It's like, it's really bad.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
When I have notes.
His actual life is so baffling to me because, like, I mean, I understand all of these people are, like, fucked up, horrible people who, like, do horrible things and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, as his mother, like, it's laughing at him, like, with her Johns that gets me, where I'm like, if I'm at a hookup's house and they're like, hey, my 11-year-old kid's gonna come in and watch us dressed in a dress, I'm getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Who's agreeing to that? Yeah.
Well, just like, this is a normal part of hiring a sex worker. Like,
yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. No, that's a thing.
It's just literally every single possible turn, everyone horrible as they're capable of being.
I can't say that there are many people that have endured as much as he had.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no way he was coming out okay.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any fucking way.
Like I said, I don't think there's probably no way he was going to come out of this, like, okay or, like, thriving. But, again, he chose to kill people.
And that's debatable about how many people he actually killed.
Right, but, you know.
But he did kill.
I'd say even one is more than the average person is allotted.
I'm okay with the fact that he killed his mom.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just going to put that out there. I mean, that's probably really fucked up for me to say. And she was pretty fucking horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like, going to sit here and be like, everyone should kill their mom. But, but, you know, Henry Lee Lucas had a pretty standard, like, solid reason for wanting to do that.
I would say out of all the cases of, like, people who killed their mothers or family members, he's the most understandable.
Yeah. It's just like, you know what? Fair.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to hold that one against you.
No.
Everyone else, though.
We could say it was self-defense. Actually, they do try to say it was self-defense why he killed her.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like, on Henry and Becky's first meeting, how polite he is.
Yeah.
How, like, charming he is, and just good to meet you. Boy, she sure doesn't look like you, Otis. Complimenting her and charming her and, like, being friendly and flirty. And he insists on giving her the spare room so she's not sleeping on the couch. And this is probably just the only time she's had a man be nice to her.
Yeah.
Without, like, trying to get something out of it.
Yeah, except it was nothing like that. And so Henry is seen as, like, being a protector to Becky, when in reality, Henry, he did care for her, but he was also a rapist and a child molester. And that is pretty prevalent throughout his history. Like, he for sure was those things. And in the movie, it portrays him as, like, being a protector for Becky and being upset anytime Otis tried to...
crosses the line with it.
Yeah. Reality of it is that he never would have tried to protect her.
Right.
Abuse, especially sexual and physical abuse, was normalized for him. He did not see anything wrong with it, which is really sad. And also, I will say again, Becky was 11 whenever all this started. So,
yeah, not great.
Yeah, no, not great. And she was, like, his child's bride. He does say that he never slept with her, but I don't believe that.
You mean the guy who confessed to 600 murders might be lying?
Yeah. Like, he had a really weird sense of right and wrong. You know.
What makes you say that?
A few things. Developmentally and everything that he went through, you know, he didn't always have the best examples.
Yeah.
He didn't know the difference. Like, I will say for him, I honestly don't know that he knew the difference between right and wrong. That's
I mean, if these are all the things that are normalized to you growing up, and especially if he was like learning disabled,
if you have cognitive deficits, and then this is also everything you've experienced in your entire life.
Yeah, and normalized and internalized. And, like, it's not going to strike you as odd to perpetuate that onto someone else.
No, you're not going to feel like you should defend someone when that is happening to them and seeing it in front of him.
Right.
It's just what it is. Basically, the bonding, like their bonding of misfits and convicts reflects how marginalized individuals create their own forms of community within mainstream society. He rejects them as like we would reject them if they, rightfully so, but it still doesn't help things. These connections can provide comfort and identity, but in cases like Lucas and Toole, they also become a dark alliance, turning shared alienation into shared violence.
Kind of about trauma bonding and like them being made for each other. I did have a note about Becky in the movie immediately clocking that he killed his mom. Because Otis is like, oh, he was in prison with me. And she's just like, what'd he do? Kill his mom? Yeah. Like, how did you clock that? Hilarious, honestly. I don't know, like, it just made me feel like, has she just been around people like this so much that, like, part of her does kind of know. Part of her is like, I bet he did this. And she can just pick up on those things after years of dealing with people like this.
I will say you do heavily get the trauma bonding in that dialogue, that back and forth. She's telling about her stories. She's not shocked by anything Henry says, and she validates him.
Yeah, and the way that she gets him to open up by just being brutally honest about her experiences and just like, here's the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
What would you like to share now?
Yeah.
And it just slowly coaxes him, like she says to him when he's like sort of talking about his mom and she's like trying to get him to open up. She just goes, I feel like I've known you forever. I feel like I've always known you. And immediately he's just like, yeah, I killed my mom. Yeah, I killed my mom. She was a whore.
Yeah. Like, okay. He's like, let's lean into this.
I do really, really love, other than her just immediately clocking that he killed his mother, in the conversation with Henry, she just straight up is like, did you really kill your mom? And he goes, what? And my notes are literally, yeah, girl, what? Otis told you 4 times not to say anything because he will kill me. Those are the words you used. And she's just like, did you really do that? Yeah, Otis told me that you used a bat, actually. I think you're full of shit. I think you're lying to me. Like, out of nowhere. Just the balls on this girl.
Yeah.
Respect, honestly.
I mean, and honestly, that shows the cognitive kind of deficit.
Yeah.
Of like there's something off here.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I think that goes back into like the banality of evil.
Right. And also like the way that, because like she says like, did you really kill your mama? And then she's like, how did you do it? And she's asking questions about how did you do it? It's like, it's not, wow, really? Like that's crazy. It's how did you do it? Because being in the position she was in growing up, I'm sure she thought about it all the time.
It's so chilling.
Yeah.
That scene is, I think, probably one of the darkest scenes out of the movie, and it makes you uncomfortable because they're so comfortable talking about this, and they're validating each other.
Yeah, like they're saying horrific things, and the other one's going, right, okay.
And you realize very fast that neither of these people are going to feel guilt or remorse. They're going to live in whatever moment it is. Trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding.
You know, I feel like we've trauma bonded a little bit throughout our time. Oh, we have, but not to this extreme.
No.
So the next little thing I have here is like, meanwhile, Otis and Henry begin to spend more time together. What starts as bar hopping escalates into picking up women and soon into murder.
Oh, wait, we skipped over...
what did we skip?
We skipped over the I Heart Chicago shirt.
Oh, what about it? Tell me.
I guess it is just little details that I couldn't stop thinking about. But for starters, Henry can't read the shirt.
Yes, Henry can't read.
What does it say? One of those words is a symbol, my guy. It's beside the point.
Yeah. No, another emphasis on how he had mental deficits.
Yes. And I know that this is only in the movie and it's not reflective of real life, but when she's trying on the I Love Chicago shirt, and Otis is like, oh yeah, you try it on right now. And she's like, okay, well, turn around. And the whole time Otis is peeking.
Yeah.
But Henry never peeks. She literally takes her shirt off and throws it over his shoulder, and he still never peeks, never looks up, just realizes the shirt is there and still waits for her to say something to turn around.
Yeah.
It's so polite.
Yes. Which is fictional.
Right. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I do have movie notes.
Yeah.
Just getting through those two.
Yeah.
After that happens, Otis has her bring him a beer, and when she does, he grabs her arm and pulls her down to kiss her, and that's when Henry grabs him by the back of the head, by his hair, and it's like, immediately, there's not even a second of hesitation. It's like, don't do that. That's your sister. Crazy moment of like, okay, he has rules too. He has lines he won't cross. And it's also probably the first and only time Becky has ever had a man defend her.
I think that was a plot device to make it easier for us to digest this story.
Right.
Because if they had really shown the truth of this squalor that they lived in, the truth about the abuse that was happening to Becky and how he was also perpetrating this abuse upon her, how he didn't really give a shit. We can't take that as an audience.
Yeah. If it's too much horrific stuff, like the narrative structure gets completely thrown out the window because you're just dealing with a barrage of horrific images.
If it was really depicted the way that their life was, there's no relief from
just the depravity and the horror.
Yeah.
Also, much harder movie to get made.
Because really, and I think even in this story, she is the sympathetic character overall in real life. Yeah. She's the sympathetic one. She ends up being murdered.
Right.
At the end. Spoiler alert. It does, like, that is very, that's a stark contrast also to the ending of the movie. And that's why it kind of comes out of nowhere at the ending whenever she is murdered. And they don't make it clear that that's what it is. But we know what it is.
It's pretty clear.
It is. Without them saying it.
But, like,
we know. We know.
I have to try to fit the guitar in somewhere.
Okay, yeah. When does he use the guitar the first time?
The first time you see the guitar is at the end of the montage in the very beginning. He picks up the hitchhiker, and she's holding a guitar case. Actually, in that montage, when he picks up that hitchhiker, we don't get the crime scene photo. We technically never see what happens to her. For all we know, she could still be out there somewhere. Not likely, but we don't see what happens to her. We just know that now he has her guitar. And when he's first being introduced to Becky, he gives the guitar to Otis. He immediately is like, oh yeah, this is great, and starts like fiddling around with it. The next time we see the guitar is when Becky's gutting the fish, and Otis is explaining Henry's past and talking about how he killed his mom, or he's still messing around with it.
I think the significance there is just signaling that he did commit another murder.
Well,
and
I feel like the way that the guitar appears throughout the film, because like the next time you see it is when Henry and Becky go on their little dinner date, and when they come back, I think it's when they come back, Otis is still like fiddling with the guitar. And then when they leave at the very end, when they're fleeing, Becky takes the guitar with her. And to me, it's sort of, it felt like him giving the guitar to Otis was sort of like passing the torch of like, here, try this out. See how you like this. And while he's like fiddling around with it, he's getting a feel for it and getting comfortable with it. And then at the very end, Becky that famous shot of Henry in the bathroom in the mirror, it pans and Becky's playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And it's like, is she also going to go down that path? Is she going to get a feel for it?
Or is that a foreshadowing that she's about to be murdered because she's another female now playing the guitar with the guitar on her hands?
This is true. I don't know. I liked the idea of like...
I think when it came to Otis, I think it symbolizes something different than when Becky has it. I think it's definitely a foreshadowing for Becky's fate at the end.
I almost saw it as like, you know, the idea of like not controlling your circumstances and becoming the person you are despite them or in spite of them. In other circumstances, she could have become a serial killer. And to me, that was her fiddling with the guitar, dreaming of her future with Henry. Because if he didn't kill her, do you think she would never commit a murder for the rest of her life? He would never commit another murder? Like, they're just going to live on his sister's horse farm with the horses for the rest of their lives?
Yeah.
Like, no, like, she probably would have just followed along with whatever he wanted and continued to murder with him.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's the problem with that. She wanted to get away from him at the end before she's murdered. But she ends up being involved with like religion and things, and she wants to make things right. So she actually wants to go back to Florida. She had been in like a juvenile correction thing. She wanted to go back and serve her time or something like that, from what I remember. And that's when he says he's going to take her, but then he murders her on the way there because she was going to leave him. But that's also like that would be hard to portray.
Right.
In the movie when he hasn't done anything technically to make her want to leave him. In the story, it's like this romanticized relationship between them, this like love where he's being the protector and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that is something that I think they were portraying, but I don't think the movie goes too hard into actually communicating that. It's more so him just saying like basic baseline polite things and like having regular standards of behavior. Yeah. Like, hey, don't grope and try to kiss your sister is a very normal thing to say. Yeah. But that's the sweetest thing she's ever heard in her life.
Yeah, and she's shocked.
Yeah. And she looks horrified when he's doing it, and he's threatening her brother, and she's like freaked out, but then as soon as it's over, she's like, yeah, actually it serves you right. Thank you, Henry.
Yeah. That would have been great if she had that. Poor Becky.
Poor Becky.
She didn't have that. My next theme in here, we get the chilling sequence where they lure the two women into Henry's car before killing them in the alley. Otis is unsettled, but Henry reassures him, framing killing as a simple survival tactic. It's either you or them. And their partnership is solidified through shared violence. When it came to it, I don't actually know if they ever murdered together. There were so many lies going on.
If it's in the movie, we can assume it's a lie.
Yeah, none of his confirmed kills were in the movie. And it also frames it like Henry coaching Otis on how to kill, when in reality, Otis was already a killer.
Yeah, he didn't need any help.
No, he didn't need any help. He didn't need reassurance and like, let me help you with your first kill in the alleyway.
He hands him the gun and he's like, what's this for?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what we're doing here.
Yes. Yeah.
And one of the things that Henry says after they kill the sex workers in the alley, because Otis is like, well, we're going to get in trouble, they're going to find the bodies, and he's like, nothing is going to happen because nothing did happen. And it's just a perfect encapsulation of like, we're not going to face consequences about this because these are the type of people that no one cares if they die.
Yeah.
And also, we didn't do anything wrong. It's just simple way of him saying that. And it's just
Yeah, no, you're right for bringing up that line. It is very chilling and a commentary on, who's whose life is worthwhile in society and who's disposable. And they're not going to be connected to this.
Right.
And I will say he was, at least, while he had a lot of mental deficits going on, he knew enough to know when he was going to get away with murder.
Right.
So there's that. So the cycle of abuse is like the next theme I have on here. And so my notes on that, there are hints of Henry's abusive childhood. He claims she is a prostitute, or she prostituted herself in front of him, and suggests violence begets violence. He did mention he killed his mother, but changing the way. In January 1960, after a violent argument, Lucas did stab his mother, Viola Lucas, in the neck, and she later died of her injuries. And Henry claimed the killing happened in the heat of the moment. He was actually engaged and they were getting together, and he was introducing his mom to his fiance. She was like, "Oh, this is your mom. I can't marry you if this is your mom." Okay. And so he got into an argument with his mom. She, I guess, tried to hit him. He said he had been abusive his whole life. And that night she hit him during a fight. And he said he reacted by stabbing her. Like, he punched her, and I guess there was a knife involved. I don't know.
I just punched her with
a knife.
With my fist that has a knife in it.
Yeah. He was arrested and eventually pled guilty to second-degree murder, receiving a prison sentence of 20 to 40 years, but he only served 10 before he was paroled. Yeah.
I think that parole board is like, we really screwed the pooch on this one.
Right. It's to know that you let this person out. His mother, Viola Lucas, was violently abusive. She often beat Henry, sometimes in public, and forced him into humiliating situations like you talked about. She made him go to school dressed as a girl, and that's actually one of the only times that he would have clean clothes. At one point in childhood, she allegedly beat him so severely over a minor issue that he fell into a coma for several days before finally being taken to a hospital. He suffered severe brain injuries from this incident that are similar to brain injuries other serial killers reportedly suffer from. So this did not help him with learning or being able to read.
Or not becoming a serial killer.
This was not the only serious injury he suffered at home. Like I said, he lost an eye, never taken care of, got infected. I can't imagine the pain. The
fear. That's your eye.
Yeah.
I don't even like having an eyelash in.
No. His mom did force him and his father to watch her have sex with customers. And this was when he was a small child, like kindergarten age type stuff, or even smaller. Like, he was little, like he was like a toddler when it started. And his father did indeed lose both his legs in an accident, prior to which he had been a truck driver. He was drunk. So the true story about that is he was drunk, sleeping on train tracks, and never moved out of the way. A very slow moving train kept yelling at him to move. They thought there was plenty of time. He never moved, and they ran over his legs.
That's so fucking embarrassing to go to the bar and be like, "Well, guys, I didn't move fast enough.
I was sleeping on the train tracks.
They kept screaming at me to move, and I still didn't. Is the train going like 2 miles?
Yeah.
So bad.
It blindsided me. It just ran right over my leg. His dad spent the rest of his days as a stump in a crate.
It's really
is just so much.
This was one of the funniest parts of the movie to me.
Uh-huh.
Right before Henry and Otis go out for the night where they kill the sex workers in the alley, Otis goes to freshen up, and the shirt he's wearing when he comes back into the room killed me. Just took me completely out. It's like this blue, groovy 70s disco pattern top with like a super deep V, and Henry's just like, "Oh, I'll throw my work shirt back on, I guess." And like Otis is just standing there like he's waiting for someone to compliment his really cool going out shirt.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my
hook
God,
me
I
out.
do remember that.
Hook me out. He
That
comes back in
is
just
funny.
like standing there. Like, okay, well, I'm in my going out shirt. Where's yours, Henry? You can't just wear your work clothes.
Yeah.
I had to pause it. I was laughing so hard.
That is pretty funny. I mean, it's just like they're so delusional.
Yeah. Like,
There's no touch of reality.
yeah.
Oh, it's sad. It's sad and funny. It's not.
You have to laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah.
Like, you have to find the humor in it, or else you're just not.
Yeah. I don't know if I would cry, but like I would definitely, I have to laugh to keep from
turning the movie off.
Yeah, just like utter being terrified.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Just being so deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Knowing that people like this exist in the world and they live among us and tell us we have nice smiles.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. They're so the kind of person that I'd be like, oh, why aren't you smiling? You look prettier when you smile.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person. I'm like, yeah, you don't look pretty when you smile. Close your fucking mouth.
You look fuck ugly when you smile.
Can you please shut your fucking mouth?
Give it a fucking rest.
All right, where was I in my notes? Okay, so Stump Daddy.
New band name, I call it.
So reports suggest that Viola kept him out of school for long periods, isolating him and allowing him to be exploited by others. He was definitely sexually abused. There was a lot of just everything you can think of under the sun happened to this poor little Henry. And we can have so much sympathy for little Henry. Becky, who also comes from an abusive background, gravitates toward Henry because he offers what seems like protection, only to find herself in danger too, which we've already said. Is there anything that you wanted to say about like their trauma bonding or the cycle of abuse?
The cycle of abuse and trauma. I thought it was really, the movie kind of does a good job of showing that like these people are made, they're not born.
Mm-hmm.
And so word this, but also that your choices do ultimately define where you end up. Becky and Otis have the same dad, but Otis is killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Otis, is a piece of shit, and he's not viewed sympathetically at all during the entire movie.
No.
But the reason he thinks it's okay to treat his sister like that is because that's the example that was set for him. And I'm not like making excuses for him here, but it's just like that's what he was taught as normal.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
That's his reality. And yeah.
This is what the men in my family do to the women in my family. What do you mean it's wrong?
Yeah. No, it's been totally normalized, and she's used to being abused.
Mm-hmm.
She's not used to abusing others. She's used to being abused. And so that's what's continuing to happen. Yeah, I think that's valid.
The way that they have the interaction where Henry grabs Otis by the back of the head, and immediately after that's done, she's like, how about you guys go out and I'll clean up here and you guys just go out and have a good time. Because he's just like, how do I diffuse the situation as fast as I possibly can and get these dangerous men away?
Yeah.
And it's just like natural instinct to her.
So next we get their brutality escalates further when they acquire a stolen video camera. At first they use it to film themselves playing around in the apartment, but soon it becomes a tool for horror. The most infamous sequence shows Henry and Otis staging a home invasion, finding a couple, tormenting the wife, and killing both parents as well as their teenage son when he unexpectedly walks in. And that's probably the most chilling scene, is when this son is being strangled.
Yeah.
It was so brutal. The entire ordeal is filmed, and later Otis insists on rewatching it, fascinated by his own cruelty. The scene is one of the most disturbing in horror cinema, largely because of its detached observational frame. It's just like the beginning of the film. Like, that's how it was, just like, this is what it is. This is the reality of it. As Otis grows more reckless, flirting with necrophilia, he lashes out at people in public. Henry warns him about getting sloppy. Henry's own philosophy is that killings should be varied and anonymous, leaving no patterns for police to trace. But Otis lacks discipline and his behavior makes him a liability.
Yeah, he's super erratic. Before they go get the TV, like, the reason they have to go buy a TV is he just can't get it to work, and he just kicks it until it explodes.
Yeah.
And Henry's like, well, what the hell did you do that for? And he's like, I don't know, got carried away, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I got carried away is like straight out of a court document of like someone trying to justify their crimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that was very Ottis and Henry, and I think that was pretty true to their dynamic, as far as I know. There are some really fucked up things. Okay, so the infamous home invasion scene is commentary on how violence is consumed and replayed for pleasure. The audience is forced into the role of the voyeur, watching murder both on screen and through the killer's camcorder. It blurs the lines between cinematic violence and real violence, critiquing how people become desensitized. Okay, so the whole camcorder thing never happened.
Yeah, they didn't have those in the 60s.
They did not have them in the 60s. Like, camcorders didn't become common until the mid-1980s. So that was a lie. Lucas was not sophisticated or methodical. He was impulsive, sloppy, and inconsistent. He often contradicted himself, fabricated stories. We don't have cases like that with him because he was, at least, depending on what you believe, of how many crimes he actually committed, how many people he actually murdered.
I still think the number is probably very high.
I think it was high. He's definitely a serial killer.
Right. I think it's entirely possible that it got up to like 50s, maybe even over 100. Entirely possible. That's a long time to be killing, and especially if you're doing one a week. I haven't done the math on that.
He didn't do one a week.
Right.
That was not true. That's what he claimed.
Right.
At the highest.
But that's still a long period of time to be doing that for, and there's plenty of time allotted to get your numbers up to that point.
So, from what I could tell, Henry, while he would freely do this stuff in front of Ottis, he still had his sense of shame. So he wasn't just like killing out in the open in front of people. The turning point arrives when Ottis attempts to rape Becky. Henry intervenes, and the confrontation spirals into a violent struggle that ends with Becky stabbing Ottis to protect herself. And Henry finishes the job, killing Ottis and dismembering his body.
Dismembers him in the bathtub and then puts his head in a trash bag that they dump off a bridge when they leave the apartment.
Yeah. So, I mean, all fictionalized. Ottis was never murdered by Henry. But it does make a good hero story out of Henry Lee Lucas in a weird, fucked up way. It seems possible Henry and Becky might run away together and have like the perfect little life.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they're rid of one monster, but little does Becky know there's still a monster in there. I sometimes like wonder how much Becky really in the movie like knew how much was going on, because there's a point right before she decides she wants to go back home. She's on the phone with her mother and her daughter in one phone call, and she keeps saying that she can't bring Lurleen there because there's just too much going on up here. There's just too much going on up here. But she never specifies what she means.
Yeah.
And it's like, how much maybe did she know that they were going out and like doing wacky shit? Did she find the camcorder, you know? Also, speaking of the camcorder, they break it at some point.
Yeah.
It's just like hanging out the window and it breaks and they leave it there. Like, there's a lot in this movie where, like, Henry has, like, this entire monologue about, like, oh, you have to switch up your modus operandi and always keep them on your feet, don't be predictable. And he talks about it as if he's never going to get caught. Or, like, I know how to get away with this. All these other people don't. And then throughout the movie, it's just like, okay, well, that was stupid. Okay, well, someone's going to find that tape in that camcorder. Yeah, just, like, little...
contradicting itself a lot. Yeah, there are a lot of contradictions in Henry Lee Lucas. So I think it was like reflecting that.
Yeah, it's like the unreliable narrator thing where he is just like, yeah, no, I'm so good at this. And then he leaves a giant bloody handprint on Becky's suitcase at the end. His massive bloody handprint right on the front of that thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, leave no trace.
Yeah. Because in no way, shape, or form was he actually methodical or,
right.
no.
And it's framed that Otis is so much like sloppier and lazier and irrational, but like Henry still kills that TV salesman because he doesn't like the way he spoke to him. Like, that's irrational. That's acting out of anger and not methodical like he thinks he is.
I'm glad that you brought that up because they do give Henry this code of morality. Where he's like, okay, you can't touch your sister.
Yeah, like there are lines he won't cross.
Yeah, you can't disrespect me. All these things, like these are punishable offenses. Right. But in reality, not so much. I'm pretty sure he would have just killed someone to get something. He didn't have money.
Yeah. It's one of the funniest scenes in the movie, though, when they go to buy that TV. And, like, the guy just clearly, like, has no idea who he's talking to. So he's just, like, talking shit. And you spend the whole time like, buddy, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. No, the build up to that is pretty comical. Like, this stuff that he says to them. And you're like,
because it's like especially on my second time watching this, by the time they're done with it and he's like, well, we really wanted a color TV, it's just like, all right, guys, work with him here. Like, yes, he's being an asshole, but you're acting fucking stupid. Like,
yeah, he shouldn't have been murdered, but he was definitely a dick.
He was definitely a dick.
So basically, what I have for the theme on all of that is masculinity, power, and control. Henry exerts control through dominating and killing, asserting his masculinity in destructive ways. Ottis is insecure and unstable, and he mimics Henry, showing how toxic masculinity spreads through imitation and competition. In reality, Henry was bisexual and in a relationship with Ottis. Henry would even get jealous if Ottis got close to other people. Like, they were a thing.
They were an item.
They were a thing. They were. Becky represents a glimmer of softness and vulnerability, but she becomes a pawn in Henry and Otis's power struggles. In the original script, the family massacre scene was longer. After the 3 family members have been murdered, Otis molests the body of the mother and performs full necrophilia with it. Prior to shooting, however, John McNaughton made the decision to abandon this part of the scene. I'm glad they didn't make him actually go through with that. That would have been traumatizing as an actor.
They really knew what was going too far with audiences. Like, this movie still goes very far, but they knew, like, okay,
that's too much.
That's a little too much.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Henry claimed to not be a rapist because the people he would have sex with, or what we would call rape or molest, they were dead. So this is a simple child's logic. Like, I can't rape a body if they can't say no. They're dead, so it's not rape.
You got me there. Look.
Oh yeah, necrophilia. So much better.
Then I guess it's fine.
That was his logic.
Yeah.
No, it's so fucked up. Okay, so the reason why they were going to show necrophilia is because they claimed to perform necrophilia like regularly. I have a little note in here. So when the scene when Ottis attempts to rape Becky, he begins to choke her with an item of clothing, and during filming, she actually did pass out.
Oh my god, I was gonna say, like, that scene where he's choking her feels so real.
It was real.
Yeah, she really looks like she's struggling to breathe.
She was.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked.
Yeah, absolutely fucked.
So unlike Henry in the film, who was portrayed as flying into rages when blatant sexuality was displayed, the real Henry Lee Lucas was known to be a rapist and child molester in addition to a serial killer. So, which I've already mentioned that, but that was just in my notes. And he also admitted to necrophilia, as I said. So yeah, not a good person.
Nope.
No, not your knight in shining bucktooth garbage pail kingdom.
Armor.
Armor. One-eyed, two-tooth. Okay. Yeah. So, do you have any questions or comments on any of the things I've just said?
About, like, masculinity. Back to Becky saying things like, oh, there's just so much going on up here, where she's covering for the guys. And when she's on the phone with her mom and her daughter, because she wants to go back to Texas because apparently Leroy, her piece of shit husband, is in jail for like first degree murder, bails $1 million, not getting out anytime soon. So she's like, okay, great, then I can go back.
Yeah.
But what her family told Lurleen is that her dad was in the army. And so while she's on this phone call, she just has this line where she's like, yep, daddy is a really brave soldier. And it's just like, God, like still having to like protect these men's egos. And like, you couldn't just say like, oh, he fucked off. He ran out on us. They had to say like, he joined the army. He's a strong protector of a man that you need to be proud of.
Yeah. Is my daughter around? She's not here. She's in her room. Okay. So that reminds me for a long time, when Angie was little, I did not want to talk badly about her dad because my parents constantly talk shit about each other. And told me things that were so inappropriate. Like, I should not know.
Right.
Like, just, what the fuck? Like, nothing like Henry, but
yeah.
But I never wanted to talk poorly about him. So I always said, like, even when he was in jail or he was in rehab, I was like, oh, he's just, he's getting better. He's sick. Yeah. He's trying to get better. And, while there is a truth to that, it is very much sugarcoating it. And I would say, he just made some poor choices. Right now, he can't talk to him, but, hopefully he's going to, learn from his mistakes and do better. And I just never really got into it. I never really told her what he did to be there. Like, I never lied that he was in jail and stuff like that. But I definitely sugarcoated everything. Yeah. And I made sure I didn't talk shit about him in front of her. And honestly, I feel like I created this, unicorn out of him.
Yeah, of like this
fantasy
standard that he's never going to reach.
Yeah, there was just almost, he was fictionalized in a lot of ways. So as to not cause like emotional trauma to her. But it just, it was something where, okay, now she had fixed in her mind that he was kind of this like victim almost. And like, oh, he's really trying. And, there are all these things, but it was so far from reality. Yeah. But that is one of those things that you do as a mom if you want to protect your kids. There's a median place there.
Sure, yeah. Reflecting, maybe don't tell your, presumably toddler, like, oh, he fucked off and abandoned us.
Yeah.
But just, having to say, like, he's a brave soldier.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's a brave soldier. But, as she got older, a little bit more would come out. Never like my opinion about it or this is what I think. It was always like, this is what happened at this time. Just being very factual and making sure that you're not like, trying to like poison your child against someone. Spoiler alert for my child's like bio dad. He ended up signing away his rights and my husband ended up adopting her, which was like the best thing that could have ever happened for us. It was a difficult time. It was, all that transition. It was a lot to navigate. Yeah. But so I have sympathy for Becky's character in that situation.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not even necessarily like, oh, like she didn't really have a choice. No. She just kind of just was like, yeah, because also she wasn't the one who said that he was in the army. It was like her mother who told Lurleen. So she's just like, again, a victim of her circumstances and being subjugated constantly to serve the needs and wants of other people.
And obviously she was being abused by him. She had to leave. Right. She's only safe to come back because he's now gone for murdering someone.
Yeah, because we'll likely never get out again. It's the only reason she feels okay.
Yeah. So again, it's like making excuses for the abuser.
Right.
Yeah. So the next theme I have in here is they leave the city and Becky confesses her love to him during the drive. Henry responds coldly but agrees to continue with her, suggesting they hide out at his sister's ranch and later bring her daughter to join them. They stop at a motel, and for a fleeting moment, there is an illusion of tenderness. Becky plays the guitar, like you mentioned, and then Henry is shaving in the bathroom mirror, like the iconic image, and they talk about the long road ahead. The following morning, the truth is revealed. Henry leaves the motel alone. He drives along the country road. He pulls over and opens the trunk of his car. Inside is Becky's blood-stained suitcase. Without hesitation, he leaves it by the roadside and drives off. The implication clear. Becky's body's inside, her fate sealed, the same as the countless others before her. The film ends on this chilling note without resolution or moral closure. The murders will continue, the drifter will move on, and the cycle of violence, random and detached, remains unbroken. Yeah.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uplifting.
Dumping her body, the only person that he's shown tenderness towards, and they're like, oh, like they're gonna have this great little life together, and she's like, nope, she's just another victim. I don't feel any differently about this, but I'm glad I convinced you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the line in the car, I love you, Henry, and he goes, guess I love you too. Jesus Christ, dude. Like,
he doesn't know what love is.
Yeah. And, I was thinking like, oh, like, does he love her? Does he, like, in whatever way he's capable of? And I think he likes having her around. I think he likes having someone who looks to him as a protector. And someone other than just someone to abuse. But he doesn't love her. He doesn't really care about her.
She's almost more of a possession.
Yeah. And just a way to, like, satisfy his own insecurities.
According to Henry's confession, the breaking point came during an argument. Becky said she wanted to leave him and go back to Florida. He described it as a confrontation about her future, religion, and her refusal to stay with him. Henry admitted he stabbed Becky to death, then dismembered her, and scattered her remains in the field near Denton, Texas. So while Becky was murdered, Ottis was never murdered. He remained alive. Later, he also murdered an elderly woman, Kate Rich, who had tried to help Becky. Becky was going to church with Kate. And so Kate was worried about Becky, and she knew that something had happened. Set in a grim, decaying Chicago, the film suggests serial killers aren't mythical. They're not mythical monsters. They can exist in everyday places, blending into working class life. Violence is framed as part of the landscape. Seedy apartments, broken families, and societal neglect. Not a single policeman is ever visible on screen during the film. This was purposefully done by John McNaughton, as so to create a sense of a world without law and order, and to remove the comforting buffer zone that seeing a policeman would give an audience. There is a scene where a police car plays a very prominent role as the two ex-cons are driving on a highway after one of the more brazen murder scenes. They're passed by a squad car that speeds past without a pause. During the screening of the film in 1989 at Telluride Festival, nearly half of the audience walked out during the family massacre scene. When the film finished, it was met with a complete silence as the audience was so stunned by what they had just seen and didn't know how to react.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Going into this blind, like...
Oh. No, I went in blind, too. As John McNaughton was leaving the theater, he was approached by a distressed man who informed him, "You can't do that." And then McNaughton asked him what he meant, and the man explained that you can't make a film about a murderer who gets away in the end without punishment or without any kind of moral resolution, reiterating, "You can't do that." McNaughton thought about that for a moment and then said to the man, "We just did."
Yeah, and also, why the fuck not? It happens all the time.
Yeah, that's reality.
Like,
yeah.
Henry talks about, like, all the different ways that he avoids detection and stuff, and you watch that like, oh, That's how there's 10 active serial killers at any given moment.
Mm-hmm. So the last theme I have, and I know I've kept you for so long and I am so sorry, is systemic failures. Lucas confesses to hundreds of murders across the U.S., many he could not have possibly committed. Law enforcement, eager to close unsolved cases, often accepted his confessions at face value. This led to dozens of cases being cleared without the real killers being caught. Victims' families were left with false closure, never learning the truth. Police departments gave Lucas special treatment with food, cigarettes, and media attention in exchange for confessions, incentivizing lies. This was probably the first time he ever got positive reinforcement.
Right.
And he is recorded saying how he feels like a celebrity when confessing to crimes.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He's given every possible reason to just keep going along with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Be the responsibility of the investigators to know this isn't the answer. Closing the case isn't important enough. Let's keep looking. But no, because they just want to close it and move on.
Let's not pin this on the guy with mental deficits who is eager to talk about anything and everything to get cigarettes and a hot meal. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And anything that they say, like, he confessed to every crime they asked him about.
Yeah, because
every crime.
Why would he not keep saying I'm doing all this bad stuff, but every time I tell them about it, I get good things. So I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Yep. So instead of delivering justice, the system created an illusion of it, padding clearance rates while letting real murderers go free. That's one of the tragedies here and real horrors, is that so many murderers went free because Henry Lee Lucas was willing to say whatever the fuck.
And cops were willing to take.
Yeah. Victims were overlooked and closing cases was prioritized. Lucas's mother, Viola, was indeed murdered by him, yet she was an abusive figure who tormented him for years. And the fact that he was never taken from her with everything that happened, like, are you kidding me? Oh my God.
How powerful CPS was in what would that have been, like the 40s?
Yeah.
Like, who knows? But also, God, no one helped him. No one saw any of that.
The families of murders Lucas falsely confessed to were denied justice since the real perpetrators were never pursued with the public. Lucas was eventually convicted of 11 murders and sentenced to death. This death sentence was later commuted to life in prison. We know for sure he committed at least 3 murders, probably 11.
Okay.
That's like for sure.
Like the solid.
Yeah. Henry Lee Lucas died in prison on March 13th of 2001 of heart failure. I have a headache now. Oh my God. How? Just like, okay, what other notes do you have?
I would like to lighten the mood by sharing some of the notes I have of times this movie made me actually laugh my fucking ass off.
Yes, please do. Please share the irony of it all.
Like, I'm sorry, but Otis, when he first picks up Becky, just being like, God, you look terrible.
Oh my God.
Just right off the bat, like, all right.
It's like Autism Central with no one has a sense of, like, I don't know, social cues.
Yeah, and like, just the way that he's like, and like, because like, we're introduced to Becky, and she looks absolutely terrified. And Otis is like, how you doing? You look terrible. And she immediately like breaks down crying. And you're just like, oh, Becky.
Yeah.
But could not stop laughing. Also love when Henry comes in with the guitar and the way he gives it to Otis, where he's like, hey, I got you a present. It's like a kid.
Yeah.
So childlike. And that, I just found that really funny.
They were very childlike in a lot of ways.
Yeah, just like kids being left home alone. Where they're just like, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
When Becky is gutting the fish and she's like, oh, I hate doing this. This is so gross. And Otis goes, I'll do it. Just so excited.
It's like, let me get my hands in that dead fish.
It's like, all right, effective foreshadowing, but also calm down, Otis. It's gonna be okay.
Like, let me get in them guts.
I'm just doing
this. I'm so sorry.
This has been a Screen podcast.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
Okay, what else? Okay.
His fuck ass going out shirt, just that like bell bottoms. Like he looked so groovy and so mad that no one was recognizing it.
Yeah.
Also the scene where they're killing the sex workers in the car, where Henry leans up and is just like, oh, let me just get this for you, and snaps the girl's neck. And Otis's face is just like, dude, what the fuck?
Like, let me just do this favor for you. Hold on. Let me, here you go. All right.
Like Henry kills his own girl. And he's like, whoa, dude, what the fuck? And then he's like, oh, let me just stop her screaming. And he's like, dude.
That, yeah. I mean, it was a chilling scene.
It was chilling.
It was a chilling scene.
It was mostly just how wide Otis is.
If you are listening to this podcast, you will be disturbed by that. But the fact that he is framing it as like, I'm going to just do this favor for you real quick.
Yeah, like, oh, let me just get her for you, too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some stuff there. You can definitely make that into a skit.
Oh, yeah. Of just, like, someone who keeps, like, walking around snapping people's necks because they like, found out about a secret that he doesn't want to get out. It's like, it's just a surprise party. You didn't need to kill her.
Yeah. No, we can totally make that into a thing. Yeah.
Surprise party and just keep snapping her neck.
I can see,
yeah. Kids, skit.
Yeah.
Also, this was a very tender moment, actually, and, like, I understand the intentionality behind it. Like, when Henry is like, oh, do you want a beer? He's like, yeah, and he grabs a beer, and he's like, oh, it's the last one, and he's, like, already drinking it. That was so funny to me, where he's just like, yeah, sorry, like, it's the last one, but, like, I'm also gonna get some of this. Like, that's not how it was framed. It was mostly like, oh, like, it's the last one, but we can share. Like, it's him being tender, really.
Yeah, it seems inconsiderate, but then at the same time, it was like almost like those social cues that they're missing.
Oh, it
was so romantic, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And they were in a relationship.
Yeah,
for real.
Is a rom-com.
It was. It is.
They're shifting responsibility for whose fault it is that the camera broke, and they're both pissed off.
Yeah.
And then Otis goes, you want a beer? And Henry goes, not particularly.
Yeah.
And that was good enough. They're just like, well, I want one. And he's like, then go fucking get one. And he, like, stops the car and kicks him out. And Otis is like, okay, so I'll see you at home. And it's like, they're an old married couple. Like,
they were.
Like, it's just so funny to me.
I mean, like, that was probably the closest to reality we can get of their relationship.
Really, yeah.
That was them.
It's just the juxtaposition of, like, these horrific monsters that are bickering like a married couple. Absolutely. And let me see if I have any more. Oh, fuck the bears. All-timer line. When he goes out to get cigarettes, and the guy's like, how about them bears? And he goes, fuck the bears.
Yeah.
Walks out.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Also love the lady with the dog named Dolores. Queen. Absolute queen, icon behavior, having a dog named Dolores in the first place, let alone staring down a serial killer. Like, we gotta go. Just like, incredible.
You fucking creep.
Yeah, just
don't look at my dog.
Like, we gotta go. Me and Dolores are getting the fuck out.
Yeah. Queen.
Oh my god. And then when Henry and Becky are in the car after they kill Otis and dump his body, and it's silent, and Henry goes, do you want to listen to the radio? And Becky is like, Henry, like, we have to talk about what just happened. We can't just listen to the radio. What the fuck is wrong with you? Just the way she says Henry. Henry.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, what do you mean?
Oh, hold on. I think I have one more. Oh, okay, yeah. It is just one more. When they just killed someone, and Henry and Otis get fries, and he goes, do you want some fries? And he grabs the entire bag out of his hand and starts eating the entire thing. I'm sorry. It got me. That's funny to me.
That's definitely me and my siblings.
Yeah. Like, you know what? I do. Thanks.
Yeah. He offered him.
Yeah.
No takesies backsies.
And he gives him this look.
Stopping recording now. Bye.
Let's end on a high note.
Give me the $50 and get out! I'll give you $50!
weekly horror update. So I am currently in the Face of Halloween challenge and I want to win, you guys. And I know that my chances are not great and it's kind of delusional and all the things. But you never know until you try. And so I am going to be hounding you guys to vote for me every single day. Sacrifice your free vote to me. I really want to win this. I mean, the prizes are pretty amazing. It is a legit fundraiser. I've been reaching out to people to get them to vote for me, and there have been some concerns that it is a scam. And while it is not the most ethical fundraiser because it's not very fair, it really is kind of a popularity contest. It's kind of a who's got the money to actually make it to the end, because at some point I am going to need monetary donations to be able to win. Currently, I'm in second place in my group, and the person beating me is like, I'm just gonna say it. Her name is Serenity. Like, that's such a stripper name. And then she's just like in a bikini, and there's nothing horror about her. So there's no reason this bitch should be leading my group. So please go and vote for me. Give me your free daily vote. It's as easy as a click. The hardest part is that you have to verify yourself. Apparently, it's impossible to vote if you don't have a Facebook, which is really fucking stupid. And that's something I am going to complain about to them. But if I win, the prizes are real, okay? If I win, I get to haunt the pages of Rue Morgue magazine, claim $13,000, and meet horror legends Jamie Lee Curtis, Matthew Lillard, and Kane Hodder. Like, that's what I'm in it for. I do plan on putting that money back into the horror community. I would like to travel to horror conventions. I would like to buy props from people who are independent and want to cultivate their craft. I would like to make merch, and I would like to not use AI for anything. I really want to commission an artist to make some merch for me. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to do. Right now, we're in the first phase. There's like 8 phases, you guys. There's a lot of phases on my socials. I want to be as transparent as possible. So right now it's just the first phase. And there's like 70 something people in my group. That's going to be whittled down to 20 people in my group. So then that gets whittled down to the top 15, then the top 10, then the top 5, and so on and so forth. So this is something that definitely as time goes on, it's going to be harder and harder to stay in the competition. Right now, I don't need anyone to actually use money to buy votes. Like, that's going to be later on. I'm going to need that. I'm not going to be able to win without it. 100%. I have come to terms with the fact that people are going to have to give money for this. I do this for free. Everything I'm doing right now, I do not get paid. So if this could be your way to pay me, please do it. But not yet. Don't use your money yet. So the money legit goes to a foundation. It goes to the Starlight Children's Foundation. I've checked into this. So Colossal is the company that's running this. And the reason why it feels scammy is because they run a bunch of different fundraisers. They contribute to different causes. It's just like a fun way to raise money. They raised like $2 million last year for Starlight Children's Foundation. It's like kids that are in the hospital, and whatever you donate is also tax deductible. Not that I want you to donate yet. So the breakdown of how the money is distributed, I would not be on here talking about it if some of that money didn't come to me. There's all these prizes I just said. A lot of people are upset that not all of the money goes to Starlight Children's Foundation, but Colossal, the company, has expenses that they have to cover. After that, it is legitimately the rest of the proceeds do go to the organization that they've chosen. And they do this all the time. They have different ones. They have ones for dogs, cats, babies, all kinds of stuff. This one is for Halloween and horror. So while this is not the most fair system, and I completely understand when people feel duped, it's because this isn't going to be easy for me to win. First of all, this is going to be a challenge for me until basically Halloween to keep putting out information and getting people to rally behind me. I'm kind of going to treat it like a reality show. Watch me win on my social media because I want to win, you guys. Please help me. And the best way you can help me right now is by giving me your free daily vote. You do not need to give money. I just need you to click on my link, verify your information, and then give me your free vote. You do not have to give money right now. It's not going to really help me. Every single time there is a new phase, your votes reset. So literally doesn't help me right now. That's basically it. So into some other horror news, we have Toxic Avenger in theaters today, and you should go see that in theaters if you can. If this is something you want to see, this is definitely a project worth supporting. They had to fight really hard to get it in the theaters. Please go support them. Conjuring Last Rites is going to be in theaters on September 5th. I'm going to tell you, I fucking hate Ed and Lorraine Warren. I think they're scammers. Probably not going to go see it in person. Another movie that is going to be in theaters on September 12th is Traumatica, and that is an indie horror film that you should definitely go support and go see in theaters. And then we've got The Long Walk on September 12th is going to be in theaters as well. Halloween Horror Nights is officially opening today. I am getting my frequent fear pass, and I am going to be going a lot. Maybe I'll see you in the fog. If you would like to tell me how amazing I'm doing, you can email me at screamqueenpodcaster@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening. It really helps. This is a weekly podcast with new episodes out every Thursday or Friday right now. This month has been extra heavy on research and editing and everything else. So because of that, I have been late now twice. Not good, but at least this is the kind of late I am and not the other kind of late. So I'm okay with it. All the research, writing, and audio is done by yours truly. Also, this is free and I literally don't get paid. So give me a 5-star rating for my effort and everything that I'm doing. And then don't hold it against me if I'm a little bit late sometimes. Okay. This is a one-woman show and I am doing my very best. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. You can find me on Instagram at Scream Queen Podcaster, Blue Sky at Scream Queen Podcast, TikTok at Scream Queen Podcast, and there's a link tree that will take you to my YouTube and Facebook page as well. Remember, Henry proves that roommate wanted ads should always come with a background check. Until next time, goodbye.
Ha ha ha!